again. And here we go. And oh my goodness gracious, let's see what happens with this. All right. And we are back.
Live.
I'm telling you,
Live,
this is
live,
some of
live.
the things that you end up dealing with when you are doing something like this. I mean, it's going to happen. And I'm imagining the millions and millions of people that are out here on Zoom at the same time trying to do certain things. And I think I might have to change the time of my show so it's not in the middle of the day when people are working. And that's what we do. We adapt. We adapt to what happens. We adapt to the things that are going on, and we figure out how to do it, and we go from there. So again, this is Barbara with I Am This Woman, and our guest today is Jai Allen. And
Hello.
so this is awesome, and I see you on my phone, so this is really good. I'm gonna tag you on here because for some reason it's not showing like I don't even want to touch it. I'm just gonna, it's all good. All right, we're back. And Jai Allen, you're our guest. Yay! Why is it that for some reason, Jai, this is either wanting us not to do it, whatever, but this is life. And right now, this is
Yeah.
life that is happening with everything that's going on. We're having these things happen. And I think this is where patience, major patience comes into play, and being able to kind of just like the show must go on and we keep on going.
Very much so. That's literally, and it's perfect that it's even happening now because that just segues into exactly what this is about. And it's using this opportunity, using this time as an opportunity to practice those things, practice patience, practice trust, practice like those positive mantras to self. Like I know for me, especially, I'm just gonna even go into it from here. Like one of the biggest things has been like the financial conversation. My thing has always been financial conversation, and we're all going through that right now with this situation, this pandemic. And for me, it's become like, you know what? I can honestly sit and dwell in the conversation of money is hard. I don't know if it's a struggle. I have to work hard for it, or just be like, okay, you know what? I've had that up until this point, and yes, right now everything is being paused, and even in the middle of everything being paused, money is flowing to me easily. I am abundant. I trust.
For 100%. And I think that this is something that if you start to think about it and you start to think about all of this happening and what's going on, and now the collective, okay, and it doesn't matter whether you were the one with the six-figure job or the one with a little bit here and a little bit there was still like, now everybody is in that same boat. But I think that that's what it is that no matter what is happening, whether the live works or it doesn't work, whether this happens or it doesn't happen, life still goes on. And to be in a place of gratitude and joy, and as we were talking before, and laughing, and then we were talking how like we did this show, so this is take two, right? And then the live goes away, and so like I was saying, I have to adapt and maybe change the time of the show, because if in the middle of the day you're going to have this happen, then it might happen, because every Friday we're going to be on, and we're going to keep on going, because amazing women like you get to share. So tell me, why are you here? What do you want to talk about? And let's have some fun.
So, I mean, this honestly even segues into, well, first, how do I even get all of what I want to say out? That's really what I'm thinking right now. It's a combination.
I'm reading a great book called The One, and it says focus on the one thing. Jennifer Grace, my coach, told me this. So give me the one thing right now.
Okay, so the one main thing right now is to be in state of gratitude, embrace all of your gifts and your creativity and the brilliance that you have right now, all the hobbies that you've been holding out on, all of the freaking everything that you put on pause, you're given the time right now to do it. So
yeah, really are. And including, I would say this, you're also given the time to relax and breathe, right? I have never rested so much, like, or watched a movie like Onward, which is the new Disney movie, came out, and I found it on Disney Plus, and I was so happy that I got to sit there and watch it, and then I watched Frozen 2 afterwards.
I think you're revealing a little bit more than just the movie here. You have a Disney thing going, maybe.
Just a little bit. A little bit. It was awesome to watch it, and it was all about this guy on this journey, and he was afraid of everything, and he went on this journey with his brother who was afraid of nothing, but really was afraid in itself. And it was great to watch, and I even teared up at the end because I'm like, this is how life is right now, you know. And I think I guess let me ask you a question. What is the biggest thing that you're learning right now? Like, what is it when you wake up? What is it like? You're like, okay, this is my day. What is it that you're learning? What is it that you're doing?
So, one of the main things is definitely self-care, like making sure that the first few days of this and my experience has been managing my emotional and mental well-being and making sure that is grounded. So that looks like meditating or journaling, or like really just like if I'm really feeling emotional that day, like letting myself be emotional, like, and that segues into like being okay with where you're at. Like everyone right now, this is a explosion or putting a magnifying glass on how everyone's on their own journey, and right. Like remembering to respect like yourself and like other people's point in their journey as well.
Yes.
So
I think that's so important. I love that you said that, respecting yourself, like being wherever you are. If you're in this moment, like yesterday was that Disney moment for me. This morning was Les Mis. I was listening to music and I was like, oh my God. Very dramatic. But that's the thing, but also respecting others. And because others are people are having opinions, and there's a lot of energy around those opinions also. And I think that that's the thing, is being able to be in respect of whatever's happening and whatever is going on, and knowing that each person looks at it a different way, you know? And I think that that's the thing about it. If you can be in that space of love and gratitude and respect of others and respect of yourself, I think that's a huge thing.
Yeah. And even also, like, in addition to that, like using this time to, yes, expand on creativity and your hobbies, but also going within, and like people don't like doing that. I like I said before, like it was an automatic, like wake up in the morning, 9 to 5, come home, do what I need to do, very much on go mode, or very much on like this routine that has become so normal for me that like it's no longer, I don't have to think about it anymore. Now I'm in a place where it's like being still, and like I do get to wake up every morning and be present to, oh, what am I doing today? Or what am I feeling today? And not really being like, yes, having my feelings come up, still being committed to what I'm doing, but like not letting those things like stop me from like what I want, what I'm up to, all that I've been wanting to do up until this point. So like it's just, yeah.
Well, I love that. So last night I caught you on Facebook Live and you were singing. So how did that come about?
So I mean, I normally sing, yes, but I feel like, and I was sharing this with my Uproar artists, so you've spoken to this before we started, but I do have a team of about 30 artists now. And last night we had a call and we were all speaking into this. And this is the time to really like show all of your talent, show all of your gifts. Me, like, I feel like I'm multifaceted, which is singing, and I can rap if I wanted to, I can do spoken word if I wanted to, all of this stuff. But I've been battling myself from like, I want to be this creator and I also want to be seen and respected. Yeah. So, and I've always had it as two different things versus one like, this is who I am. And last night was like the first time of me like being like, I sing, this is what I do, and I know that I'll be respected. And it's funny because like I get the reactions that I do and I'm shocked, and it's like, why
Sure. Well, because, think about it. You're like you said, it's like, it's almost, you do a separation of life. This is me and my job, right? This is me here with Uproar Artists. right? This is me here as a woman, as a girlfriend, as a daughter, whatever it is, sister, however it is. And I think that what we don't sometimes we don't remember is that we're all of these things. We're all of these things together, and that makes us a whole. And instead, we only show certain people this, and we only show certain people that. And I think when you start to embrace it all, this is what you get. And so I love that you're putting yourself out there, and you sang one of my favorite songs and everything. So I was like, oh my gosh, yes, yes. And, but I love that because I think that a lot of times when this is all said and done and we get the okay to go back and do things, everybody, I think the majority of people will go right back into that rat race, and they will still complain about not having enough time to do things. They're still going to complain about my job and this and that. And there's a select few people who I think are going to take this and they're going to embrace it and they are going to run with it. So I'm super excited to see what you will create and what you will do on this journey and what you will make. So what is it that you want to do? Like, whether it's here, with Uproar, like explain to us, share with us who Jai is and what you're doing.
So listening to what you're saying and like also like speaking into like how I spoke into my version of separation, it also had me think about the collective communities and how I feel like there's been a level of separation from the get-go. Yes, like we are known as United States of America, one nation, all, but there's still been a level of like racism and like anti-Semitism and all of that stuff that's there. And I feel like my ultimate purpose and goal is to do away with that, to put a dynamite into all of those things and to say, hey, like I can be who I am and we can have a peaceful community. You can exist, we can coexist and have completely different understandings of the world, but still be okay. So I feel like my journey has been battling my own version of internal separation and now that I'm at a place where I feel like I am all of those things under an umbrella of brilliance. And
go ahead, say that again. Under an umbrella of brilliance. Shut up.
Yes.
That is awesome. I love that. Like, what is your umbrella?
My umbrella is literally twerking, singing.
Yes, you do that class.
The Upward Project, every single thing that I do, that's literally from shaking my booty to being at a business, being at an office desk, it's for the purpose of having people get that we can coexist peacefully.
Oh my gosh. I love that umbrella of brilliance because I think that for me, I met with my team for 2 hours. We did a big brainstorming for I Am This Woman and everything that we're creating, everything we're building and putting together. And what was so beautiful is to watch this group of women come together and share. And like what's really wild is something that started as my baby, as this, I now have this group of other women who are sharing in this vision. And what a huge, like, it's one thing to do it. It's another thing when you have this circle of women around you. What a difference. And I know for my best friend Yamit, Taylor Ann, and Sammy, who are on my team, they make me better and they make me want to do this. And like women like you make me want to do this, and that's what you said Friday. You said, I used to have something like this, but I never moved forward with it, and I want to inspire women like you to move forward. I want you to say, this is what I want to create and this is what I want to do.
Right.
So yeah, I love that. Brilliant. I'm going to borrow that one. Make me a little umbrella.
Yeah, so this is definitely also the time to get that. For everyone gets to get that right now too. Like there is no, and I've been hearing this a lot, and I want to say here that there's no wishy-washiness when it comes to this. It's not one day I'm brilliant and the next day I don't think I have what it takes. No, it's one or the other. And when you choose it, that's it. It's so I just wanted, like, my message to everyone is to, even though you didn't say it was someone, is to live freely,
Yeah.
live fully expressed. Don't ask for permission. And like,
I'm serious, because people are, here's a great thing I found. People are going to see this and say, I could do something like that. When I started this show, this is my favorite. I got, oh, that's nice. I was going to do something like that. Not like how, like what you did is you came to me and you said, wow, thank you for inspiring me. This just brings it up. But I had people say, oh, and this is what I figure out is that some people want to do something, but the courage that it takes, this is not easy. This is not like, sometimes if I could just curl up on the couch and not think about any of this stuff and not work till 3 o'clock in the morning. But I like the fact of, don't hide from your brilliance. Like, and I always say, honor your truth, honor who you are, what you're up to, what you're creating. I think that that is the most important thing to be able to do. And I love that you're honoring that. So this Uproar project, you know, what is it that your goal? Because I know you've had some events throughout South Florida and you were getting ready to have another one come up, right? And pandemic happened. So talk to us about Uproar.
So the ultimate goal of the Uproar is to promote nonviolence in our communities and social equality. Mm-hmm. So we host these events or rallies per se quarterly throughout the year, and as you said before, it is a showcase of various artistries, and the artists themselves each have their own umbrella of what they stand for, whether it's humanitarianism or against police brutality or whatever the case may be, but it's all to promote the same thing, which is peace and nonviolence.
Right. So in a creative way.
Yes, in a creative way, yes.
Which I think speaks to, like, I know it speaks to my soul because I love that. So I think that that's what makes a difference. It's one thing to shout from your soapbox. It's another thing to sing from it, or to, you know, to really invite people to be a part of it. And I think that's what you create with this, you know? Right. So how are you moving forward with this? Because of everything, and usually it's an in-person kind of event. So what's going on with that?
So I think it's actually a great opportunity for us to start going virtually, which we will.
You think?
We're going virtual. It's happening. So everybody stay tuned for the information. I might even do it by the end of this month, actually, to be honest, because I wanted to do it next month, but who knows? We might be back like doing normal things next month. So everyone's home, and it's a great opportunity to get people outside of Florida interested in what we're doing. Mm-hmm. So it was the reason why I thought about this is because I was so sick and tired of the amount of shootings that were happening from throughout the year of 2018. And I was like, something has to be done. And that was my motive. And now it's not only that, but it's also whatever crises or issues that we come up against during the times, which right now it's coronavirus. So
right. It's this epidemic, but you know, the thing about it, this is a pandemic, but really, if we're looking at it, there are so many pandemics. And I think it's, I was just reading an article this morning that an Asian couple were attacked because people are saying, like, you put the coronavirus on us, which is really a sad thing, that because if we're really thinking about our world and how many epidemics we place on it, you know, for the first time, everything seems greener to me. The trees are like, they're blooming, the flowers, everything.
Yes, the sun is shining and beaming more brighter than it's ever done.
Ever. And I think that's the thing that I noticed is that, and you know, when they were saying they look over the maps and they're like, because the factories are not going and all this stuff, all of a sudden the earth looks healthier, you know? And I would love for people to learn, like, look at what we can do, you know, but what if we came together, like you said, in that peaceful way, in that good way, and it's not about making the money, and it's really about, because we'll all make money, it's something that will happen, but really honor ourselves and honor the world, you know, which I think is such an important part of it. I think that's one really important part. So I would say this, I'm going to ask you the question then of, you know, with this uproar, you're going to do this. So then all of a sudden the world starts again, your job starts again. Then what happens? What are you going to do?
I'm honestly going to probably do both. I'm probably going to do in-person uproars and which I was thinking about doing it before. I think about doing pay-per-view. And I think this just kind of catapulted that thought.
Well, it does, because I think sooner or later, and the article I was reading, and they were talking about that sooner or later, we're going to keep on having these things happen. You know, when we're putting things in our water, you know, like things that are allowed now that were never the law, all of a sudden has become like, oh no, you can put that in the water, you can do this, you can do that. And I think that it's going to start to change things, and it's going to start to affect us also. You know, so I think that here's the thing about it. This is more important than ever to be able to reach people. And I think what you're reaching people with the point of peace. You know, I was telling you on Friday, like Mother Teresa said, like she would never be at an against the war rally, but she would go for when they said, let's do a peace rally. You know, because even if you're against something, if you're against the war, you're against it, and which is that, you know, push against it. So I think that you have such a great opportunity to be able to create something. So do you live on your own? Because I
have 2 roommates.
Okay, well, that's good. So you're not alone, right?
Yeah.
Which helps, because I can imagine I think some people will find out that being alone is okay. So how is it with your roommates? Because now you're in a space.
I mean, I definitely I get to practice both. And that is going out of my room, because I can be in my room for days working on something, whether it's upward twerking, singing, whatever. So coming out of my room for once in a while and saying hello and socializing is actually my challenge. So being able to connect with them and like really, I think these past few days we've been becoming closer, which I'm excited about. So we'll see what happens.
That's good though. I know my son, he works from home, and I think it was funny when he was little, he loved people. And now I think he's just like, oh, what's the difference? I'm at home all the time. But I think that's so interesting because of the fact of being around people. And I'm a big people person, but one of the things I'm finding out is I love this quiet time. And it's really helping me to connect to myself. And I think I was always, let me see what I can do. And so I would do 100 things. So now that I'm down to a few things, like I said, I'm reading this book called like The One. And it's like, what do you really focus on? What is the one thing that you're focused on? And if you can get into the one thing that you're focused on, what a difference it can make.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we were talking about the other day. Like what I think I'm noticing is a lot of people have that like one domain that's their like place they want to touch. Like yours is woman empowerment, and I know Holly Berby is similar, and other people as well. And mine is like communities coming together. So like there's all art, I should say. Mm-hmm. So those categories, like, and focusing on those categories and expanding on it, and like really like taking a leap of faith with it really is really like how you're gonna really get the message out, is what I'm trying to say.
But I love that you said taking a leap of faith. And so expand on that for us. I mean, because it is a leap of faith. So what is your big leap of faith?
Explain that.
Well, because here's the thing. I Am This Woman is a total leap of faith. I don't know who's going to accept it, who's not going to accept it. Now, I'm honored that I've got like the next 2 months. Well, I got one date in May that I'm waiting to book, but I have almost the next 3 months booked with things. If you would have asked me this 6 months ago, a year ago, if you would have told me I was going to do this, I would have been like, really? I'm going to do a show? But this was a huge leap of faith.
Yeah.
So what is your leap of faith?
So my leap of faith is really like trusting that I can bring together a team of artists, more than 30 people, have them work together, and then us work together to bring communities together with art.
Yeah, and you're like,
I don't know if that's gonna work, but I'm gonna do it anyways.
And it's been working.
Say it again?
Talk about it. It's been working though, because you've done it. So I really want you to acknowledge that. Like, this is not like, you didn't just come on the show and say, I'm thinking about doing this. You've done shows, haven't you?
Yeah.
A number of them. And not only shows, then you've been a guest on other people's shows, right?
Right.
Hmm.
All right.
So,
Keep going. I get your point.
so what is that point, Jai?
So it's really like, I guess, keeping the foot on the gas with what it is that I am doing, really.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, this time I've taken the time to be gentle with myself, and I really encourage that for everyone. Like, be gentle through the emotions. And for me, it's always been like inner battle, and now it's been like, okay, background noise. And that's because I've done the work to like listen to myself, become one with my shadow. My shadow is not going anywhere. When I walk, that shadow is right by me.
That song, that's your next song you should sing, Me and My Shadow, because it's not going anywhere. But I like how you say that. I went through this class in the Achievers Academy, and Charlie, who taught it, talked about your personas. And that, like, you know, my lowest persona, and a friend of mine says, you know, never name her. Like, she used to be in the front seat driving my show, everything, what I do. And when I stepped into who I am and honoring that, this came up. And when I say I have a team of people around me helping me with this, it's really wild to think about that. So I love the fact of that. And I say that now, I think not even my highest persona, but the persona that is just really committed to making the change is the one that's kind of driving my car right now.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. And she is a total badass. I mean,
and that is so why I encourage the inner work right now, because this is like being one with like your purpose and like what you mentioned earlier is your essence or what your motive is.
Yes.
That's it. Once you know what your motive is, you're good. You don't need anything else. You know what you need to do, and that's it.
It's so true. I call it that essence is within you. And it's a lot of times it's buried and covered, and it's covered by the doubts and the fears. And every time we fail, I failed so many times. I've done this women's empowerment so many times. And like when you said on Friday, you said it has always been your thing. And I've tried to do other things, but I always say God kept on going, you're so cute. Stop trying to do everything else and focus in on what you're really good at. And this women's empowerment is like, it's just like the meat.
Your niche.
It really is. It's even more than a niche. It's like I always say that it's like the air that I breathe, you know? And I love connecting with other women about that and sharing that. It makes a huge difference for me, you know, to be able to do that. So I love that. And then I love being able to connect with other women like you know, because you're into like your creativity, it just shows, it oozes out of you, you know. So I love that you're embracing that. And I always say that embracing your essence, it really does come through for you. So I always, you know, have a few questions that I ask, and I've kind of asked you these questions, but then today might be a totally different kind of thing of how you're doing it, right? What can you do to make the world a better place?
Well, I am going to embrace my talents, which is poetry, singing, videography, all of those things, and really start like putting it out there full force and like raw and edited, all of the ugly, all of the beautiful. And to be free, be my motto, which is to be free, live fully expressed, and to live peacefully.
Yeah, and that's so perfect to that motto, because I think, you know, like my motto is that I believe when women embrace and honor their truth, it impacts their lives, their families, their community, and the world, you know. And so I love that you have this motto and that you're living by it and you're honoring that and honoring who you are, because I know it does. It makes a huge difference, and it makes a huge difference for, I think, for the the people that you serve, the ones, and I say serve because it had to come from your spirit and through your heart and out your mouth and invite others into this place, you know? And so you create that space and you create that stage for them to share, you know? And I think that's really powerful. I'm going to throw something else out here is that, like, what do you think is important, like with communication with, and especially right now, what's going on and how people are communicating? What do you think is really important?
To stay connected. Really
are you asking?
I'm like, what?
You're like, well, I'll tell you this. My niece put out an invite to my family on my dad's side to do a Zoom call yesterday. And it was so neat to see my sister and my nephews and my cousins and all this stuff and my aunts and stuff on the screen, you know, watching. And I acknowledged her for it. I said, I just want to tell you how special I think that was, because I don't think I would have I don't even think she would have even thought about doing a Zoom. It was like, we'll see each other when we come together for a family reunion every 4 or 5 years. So I guess when I think about what's important with communication, because how do you think communication will change? How about that? How do you think communication will change because of this?
I think it'll definitely be versatile. We'll adapt to the times, was one of the artists said to me yesterday, because yes, a lot of the things is virtual now, so communication can be done over the phone, but video chat would probably be more useful, and like being able to, like, I know I may see you a few weeks from now, but like doing a video call just because. Right. So that's really what I see for it.
Yeah. How about phone calls? This is what I like. How many is like, oh no, we just text. I don't really like to make a phone call. We just text. How different is that now? Because
yeah,
I think it's going to change it. You know, I think texting is something that people will always do, but I think people hide behind text messages sometimes versus when you see someone face to face, it changes. It changes.
I just think everything right now is a matter of like, whatever you thought was once normal is no longer going to be normal, and being able to accept that, like, it's the times are changing, times are will inevitably be changing. So be willing to, like, that's why it's so important to use this time to stay grounded, because once you're grounded, no matter what happens around you, it's not going to affect anything about that.
Right.
So that's.
I like that though. So tell me, because this show is for women, and yes, men look at it or whatever, but if you could tell women one thing, what would it be?
The one thing I would say to a woman is to never fear who you are. The biggest thing to fear is your inner conversations and all that stuff, but that's not, once you get past that, once you accept who you are.
It's so good. And you know, I'm going to piggyback on there is know your circle, like your circle of women. Know some will come and go and some will come and stay, and the ones who go, thank them for being there, and the ones who are there, thank them and trust in that. And I was listening to Rachel Hollis, and she says, like, if you're the smartest person in your circle, you're in the wrong circle. You should always have where you're learning. Well, yeah, because here's the thing. If you're the smartest one, how are you going to learn anything? Like, so when I say that, is that not meaning you're like, yes, you're brilliant in your own right, but you're brilliant maybe in this way, and then someone else is brilliant in another way. When I was on the call and you know, someone said something and I was listening and I was like, oh my gosh, it's brilliant, because it's not my forte. So I would say that, you know your circle. And if you are the smartest one in there, you go out, do some interviews, grab some more people, get them in there. I always ask that question about with Kobe Bryant's death and the legacy that he left, that his last 3 years of what he created. If you were to leave a legacy, what would it be?
my legacy would be artists using their work to promote peace. So artists on the move to promote peace would be a thing, and communities would be coming together for that cause as well.
Yeah. And I love that, creating that space. You know, my other best friend, Misty, she always talks about, she's like, one day we're going to buy a plot of land and we're going to have this place and we're going to have double G's, because we always talk about ourselves as the Golden Girls. It's really funny, but that we all would live on the same space to come together, but have that. And I love that, creating that space. It really, I know it makes me better. It makes me a better woman because of the women that are in my life. It really does. And the people in my life, you know, I have some amazing men, like Frankie Curran is one of my friends. And he, like, when we talk, or he'll send me he sends me the silliest things. And his wife, Megan, always say, like, the two of us, Frankie and I, can get together and talk, and it's the best thing ever. And they really do make me a better person, you know? So I'm super honored by the people that I have. Okay, what is the lesson you would share with your former self and your future self?
The lesson I would share with my former self is do not get in over myself or get over my head. I don't know what the word is. What is the saying that they usually say? Don't get in over myself.
I don't know. I haven't heard that one, but tell me. Explain it. Explain it to us, Jai.
Well, basically, like, okay, so I want to say back then I used to jump the gun a lot before thinking about, like, the repercussions of anything, whether it was relationships or school or whatever the case may be. I was always wanting something way greater that was never going to be given back to me. So, like, yeah, but I wouldn't say, I guess, yeah.
Well, no. You're like, I don't even know what I just said. But I like that, because you were saying, it's almost like you want so much, right? And it's like, if I have this, if I can get this, and then, like, I always believe that what is there for you is there. And it's almost like you're walking this journey and there's like little rubies or something like that, and you're picking them up. And those are the ones for you, you know, and there's some that you might pass up. But I think the thing about it is trusting that what comes in for you. But isn't it interesting that sometimes we want so much from someone else when everything we really need is within ourselves? You know, it's the fact of it is sometimes you don't need someone else to validate your greatness.
Yeah, so that, I feel like even that statement alone too lands too for, like, former self. I don't need any validation. My future self, I would definitely say, trust yourself. Trust.
I think that's it. That's what comes down to it. You know, I appreciate you coming back on and you doing this again. I appreciate you just being a yes, and then support me on my dreams and what I'm creating. It makes a huge difference for me.
Of course.
And I always end the show with saying your name and saying, I am this woman, because I think it just shows you, you know, the world, who you are.
Okay. My name is Jai, and I am this woman.
I love that. And guys, I am Barbara Horton. I am definitely this woman. There's a couple things that I kind of want to talk to you guys about. First of all, oh my gosh, thank you. Jai's been guest number 12, coming up this Friday. Well, this week I have another special guest, Federico, who is This Man, is going to be coming on tomorrow. We're going to be just doing a segment. We're just going to talk. He hasn't told me what we're talking about yet, but I'm sure it'll be fun. And this Friday, I have a young girl, Zara, who's coming on. She is a senior in high school. As you can imagine, her prom is gone, probably graduation is gone. She's getting ready to go away to school, and how all of this has changed, how her family life has been affected. So she's going to come on and share, which is going to be a really exciting show. So you should tune in for that. And if you're interested in being a guest on the show, if you're like Jai, you have a dream, or you're doing something, whatever it is, reach out to me at barbara@iamthiswoman.com. And please, you know, say, yes, I would like to be a guest. And someone said to me, Danielle, she said, I want to be a guest on the show. And then when I told her, great, it's open, put your dates in, she's like, I don't know. And she froze. And she hasn't picked the date yet, but she says she will. So just like her, be afraid to come on. And Jai, were you a little nervous on doing the show? Yeah.
Yep.
And how do you feel now?
It wasn't bad. It was great. I'll definitely do it again.
Yay!
I lived.
You live. You're like, I am this woman and I survived.
I did that.
Yes. And if you're interested, we are almost done with the website. We're going to be launching it soon. So we are looking for bloggers to share their stories. There's going to be so many more opportunities that we're going to be doing and growing. I am this woman. I thank you for being here. I thank you for supporting. Jai, I thank you once again. And I can't wait to have you on the show again. And I know Jai's going to be writing a blog for us. So we're super excited about that. And thank you guys. Take care of yourselves. Be safe. And just love one another. That's what it comes down to. Again, I am Barbara Ford, the host of I Am This Woman. And thank you and love you guys. Take care.